develop and how to increase our knowledge?
Knowledge comes from the resources of the books. Knowledge comes from the resources of atmosphere.
So when the result came, there were few students who got suicide.
The problem is that it is toxic competitive world.
Like he is not interested and he is not able to understand that thing easily. So what can be the process of that and the method, the tips and tricks to understand easily?
That suicidal attack comes from a deep clinging thoughts. It comes from a deep thought, deeper thought. When you soften yourself from inside, when you just weaken yourself from inside, in that scenario you go and just don't love your life and you just sacrifice and give up your life. So it means over knowledge also gives trouble. Over knowledge also gives problems. That is why you have to balance your knowledge. If you fail, you have to find out the strategies. If you get rejected, you need to find out the other solutions and other ways, other windows to look out.
Hello, namaste, namaskar, assalamu alaikum and shashriyakal. Now we have come here. Can you guess what is this actually? No? Don't worry. We both are here to tell you something extra and new and more valuable thing here. So now, me, Shafaq, is going to ask the question and it's related to your problem. And now we are going to solve you. Not we are going to solve you. Sir is going to solve your problem. I am here to describe your problem actually. So sir, first of all, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. What about you?
As like you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So actually I'm here to describe the problems and ask the question related to that problems which the audience, like our audience face. So I'm here to ask you how to develop and how to increase our knowledge.
Okay. So first of all, what is knowledge?
Yeah.
Right. Knowledge is all about the information, the atmosphere, the environment throws upon us. That is a knowledge. For example, when we talk about our childhood, we were a kid, we were a child, right? So that time we had not proper knowledge and environment of how to eat food, how to drink water. But the environment which atmosphere imposed on us, we followed that. Some kid you saw started eating like this.
Yeah.
Some kid started eating with a spoon. Some kid started eating like this. It means that in the childhood, in that particular childhood, we can find multiple types of kids and the ways they executed in their lives to eat the food and drink water. Same way, knowledge comes from the resources of the books. Knowledge comes from the resources of atmosphere. Knowledge comes from the resources of family. So when you talk about development, which is called development of knowledge, actually it's a development of knowledge. So when you talk about development of knowledge, it's all about that you need to explore the things.
Yes.
All right, in your childhood your parents are there who will guide you.
Yeah.
When you grow, you become mature enough, you need to explore yourself. You need to read different books. You need to read visit different places. As there is a great saying and there is a great thing that when you have a kid or when you have a son and daughter, so उसको आप जो है कि कुछ वक्त गांव में रखो, कुछ वक्त उसको शहर में रखो, कुछ वक्त उसको सिर्फ उसी के जेंडर के स्कूल में पढ़ाओ, कुछ वक्त उसको जो है कि दोनों जेंडर स्कूल में पढ़ाओ, मल्टी जेंडर स्कूल में पढ़ाओ, कुछ वक्त उसको दादा दादी के पास रखो, कुछ वक्त उसको जो है कि चाचा चाची के पास रखो. So he or she gets a great development in terms of his or her thoughts, diversification, and more ever exactly.
Actually, one question is arising here. As you mentioned, knowledge comes from the books, knowledge comes from the observation. So everybody is not interested to learn reading the books, to go with books and newspaper and series and all web series. So like this. अब क्या होता है कि कोई मूवी देख के भी सीख जाता है बहुत सारी चीजें.
You mentioned here web series. Web series is a movie, yes.
Yeah, sorry, series. So कोई कुछ देख के सीख जाता है. तो ये होता है कि किसी में होता है कि सीखने की कोई इच्छा और एक समझने की चाहत. लेकिन if somebody doesn't have anything, like he is not interested and he is not able to understand that thing easily. So what can be the process of that and the method, the tips and tricks to understand easily?
See, first of all, whatever is actually tough, that's always hard, and that is not liked by max number of the people.
Yes.
So when you talk about like knowledge is always a tough thing. Knowledge is not only in the college. Knowledge is always regarded as a duty. Oh, talking about the knowledge, cracking the NEET examination, preparing for UPSC, giving SSB interview, and all these come into mind and it disturbs us. So, knowledge, first of all, we have assumed knowledge as a highest mountain and like a top floor of Burj Khalifa, So, what we need to do, we need to think about knowledge, that knowledge is a part of life and it's a fun. It's not a duty, it's fun. It's not only education, it's education plus entertainment. It's edutainment. And it is the thing in everywhere it is available. It exists in every particular activity. You talked, for example, movies. Movies have knowledge.
Yes.
You have some historical movies, some, swashbuckling movies. It has knowledge. You talk about some sci-fi scientific movies, it has knowledge. You talk about some of the real life based stories and web series, it has knowledge. You talk about some biopics, it has knowledge. So knowledge is available at every particular thing, but you need to make it interesting.
Yes, absolutely right.
Yes.
But the thing is that if someone has knowledge, even he is in trouble. If someone doesn't have knowledge, he is also in trouble. Why it is?
Over knowledge. If somebody is in trouble after knowledge, so it means that he is in trouble because of over knowledge. And what do you mean by over knowledge? Let's have a very common example that we had pandemic, right? COVID-19. So in that pandemic, we saw that all the people who belong to village, rural, they had less knowledge.
Yeah.
They were free.
They were free, yes.
No sanitizer, no sabun, no tel masala and all these, right? They were free. They were walking, they were eating. But when you talk about the thing like, that the people who had more knowledge, more information, कि COVID ऐसा होता है, इतना dangerous होता है, ऐसा होता है, something like that. So this actually affected them, affected their mentality, affected their thoughts, psyche. So it means over knowledge also gives trouble. Over knowledge also gives, problems. That is why you have to balance your knowledge. If you have extreme level of knowledge, extra knowledge, deeper knowledge, so you need to just respect that knowledge and understand that knowledge, but don't doubt the knowledge.
Right.
Right.
Now, recently we have gone through the result of the students actually. So, when the result came, there were few students who got suicide, who committed suicide because they got the less marks maybe in the result in the examination, and they were like कि और some students were there, I listened somewhere, I heard it कि अगर ज़्यादा मार्क्स नहीं आते तो क्या होता, घर वाले डांटते, ये हो जाता वो हो जाता. और यहाँ पे हुआ कि 3 लोगों ने हमारे सामने की बात है सुसाइड कर लिया, उनका एग्जाम में मार्क्स नहीं अच्छा है. Absolutely. Why they committed suicide?
The problem is that it is toxic competitive world, toxic competition world. So when you talk about toxic competition world, so this society has imposed the things. Like for example, mama has a lot of expectations, father has a lot of expectations, parents start comparing that, what about that Ramesh uncle ka bacha and he has scored this much score, right, this much marks, and what about this. So we create and generate a kind of toxic environment and toxic competition that is not productive. That is actually killing somewhere the potential of the kids and the desire and the hopes of the children.
Right.
That is why in this scenario, what we should do, we should behave with our children just like, okay beta, okay beti, whatever happens, you fail one time, it's all right. You fail 2 times, it's all right. You fail 3 times, it's all right. Like you should never say that if you fail, what will happen? Like if you fail, that what will happen? You are going to, oh my God, तुम्हारी जिंदगी खत्म, तुम्हारी दुनिया खत्म. जब उसको आपने एक बार बात ये बोल दी कि तुम्हारी जिंदगी खत्म, दुनिया खत्म, रियल में अपनी जिंदगी दुनिया खत्म कर लेता है.
So who need to understand this? Like the student or the parents?
Everyone. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हियर द रोल ऑफ द गार्जियंस कम. पहले गार्जियन का रोल आता है, बिकॉज कहते हैं जैसे बड़े वैसे छोटे. सो व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द पेरेंट्स एंड द गार्जियनशिप, द पेरेंटिंग, इट शुड बी इन अ वेरी प्रॉपर वे, वेरी healthy way, very modern way, right? Because somewhere we don't like the parents don't follow the modernization, right? This is really very important to follow the modernization, where you understand the emotions of your children, where you understand the situations and the ongoing situations of your children. Then you can build a great communication and the great bond. And then it comes to also the children. The children also need to actually understand that one failure of the examination is not going to determine your future in life. In that case, what you need to understand, you need to be very courageous, very risk taking, and a very very exactly healthy mentality and mental like mind person.
एक्चुअली व्हाट हैपन, अगर स्टूडेंट फन के साथ भी स्टडी करता है तो फिर वो सिर्फ फन में ही चला जाता है. इट हैपेंस. सो दैट्स व्हाई देयर पेरेंट्स टेक बर्डन एंड प्रेशर कि नहीं अगर ऐसे पढ़ेगा तो बिगड़ जाएगा, तो उनको सुधारने के लिए वो थोड़ा हार्ड बन जाता है.
देखिए, जहाँ पे आप हार्ड बनेंगे उतनी चीज़ें सॉफ्ट बनती जाती है. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आपने लाइक योर डॉटर और योर सन समबडी इज देयर, लाइक यू आर फोर्सिंग अ लॉट, तो आप जितना हार्ड अपनी तरफ से दिखाएंगे वो अंदर से सॉफ्ट बनता जाएगा. एंड व्हेन ही बिकम सॉफ्ट तो ही कैन नॉट टेक द बर्डन. वो बर्डन झेल नहीं पाएगा बिकॉज ही इज सॉफ्ट फ्रॉम इनसाइड. बाहर से वो आपको दिखा रहा है कि यस मम्मा आई एम रेडी, यस पापा आई एम रेडी, बट व्हाट अबाउट इनसाइड? डू यू नो दैट इनसाइड व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन? Some people who commit suicide, there is a great line, बड़ी प्यारी सी लाइन, बड़ी प्यारी क्या मैं कहूँगा, बड़ी दुख भरी लाइन है कि that suicidal attack comes from a deep clinging thoughts. It comes from a deep thought, deeper thought. When you soften yourself from inside, when you just weaken yourself from inside, in that scenario you go and just don't love your life and you just sacrifice and give up your life. This should not be the result and the target of us.
Right.
It's a sad thing.
It is actually.
Yes.
So it means for the increasing our knowledge, for developing our knowledge, environment and atmosphere matters.
That matters, absolutely.
That matters.
Yes.
So if a student is living in an environment, the good atmosphere, everything is good, but even he is not taking interest in that, he wants to do something else. He wants to do like dancing, singing, not study, but their parents wants to do just they want to see him as a maybe officer, something like that, and he's not interested. So is it good when if you're not interested in something to do that, or is it good to just if you're interested in something else, just go with that?
See, the point is, for example, we don't regard dance as a skill. We don't regard singing as a skill. We don't regard acting as a skill. Why? Because let's have a common example. An officer is not earning that much that Bollywood star is earning. A dancer is earning. So we have to respect these skills actually. And these are good skills. Like when there is an officer, when there is a dancer, people see officer, like 10 people see officer, 10 people see doctor, 10 people see engineer. But there is a thousand of crowd that see the stars, that see the dancer and the singers. Sometimes in some scenarios and some cases, officers are respected a lot, appreciated a lot, right, and saluted a lot. But we should not degrade anything, because if a child wants to be a dancer, if a child wants to be a singer, we should say, and we should not clip the wings. We should give the wings and say that, okay, go and fly. Okay, go and do it. Okay, go and have race. Okay, go and execute. Go and implement. Go and actually experience it, right? At least you can understand the scenario of the world, right? So we should say yes, absolutely you can.
Yeah, everything is just not a piece of a cake actually.
Yes, it's not a piece of cake.
Of course.
Yes.
So actually nowadays what is happening in this era, there is a government exam actually, and one of the toughest exam of the world, maybe I can say, the UPSC, and maybe 18 to 20 lakhs people fill the form, they give the examination, they get failure, only maybe 1,000 of the people crack that exam. सो होता है ना कि यार मैंने भी उतनी मेहनत की, टाइम दिया, सब कुछ दिया, उसका हो गया, मेरा नहीं हुआ. ये होता है कि वो कमियां तलाशने लगते हैं. वो ये क्यों नहीं कहते कि चलो अगर नहीं हुआ अगली बार को ट्राई करते हैं. कमियां अपने अंदर कमी ढूंढते जो कि उनके अंदर है नहीं. मे भी हो सकता है 1-2 नंबर से आप इधर उधर रहे होंगे. सो व्हाई दे स्टार्ट सर्चिंग समथिंग बैड थिंग इन देमसेल्व्स? they should see only the good things what they have. So is it good to find something bad thing in yourself? क्योंकि दुनिया तो है बैठी हुई आपके अंदर खामियां निकालने के लिए, तो आप अपनी खूबियों को देखें, खामियों को क्यों देख रहे हैं? और वो फिर जब लोगों की बात सुनते हैं उसी में चले जाते हैं कि हाँ उसने मुझे ऐसा कहा, आई थिंक लगता है मुझे मेरे अंदर ऐसी कोई कमी होगी. तो is it good to listen them or not?
No, it's not good to listen to them actually, because it's about society, that the more you care the society, the less society gives you. जितना ज्यादा आप सोसाइटी समाज की फिक्र करते हैं, समाज उतनी ही आपको कम देता है. तो करना ही क्यों है फिक्र? Why to worry about समाज? Why to just have the criticism of the society? It's all about your mental preparation. You are preparing for UPSC. It's not like a piece of cake, and it is not that immature examination that you are going to handle a district. आप एक जिला संभालने जा रहे हो as a DM district magistrate. You are going to be secretary of the prime minister or somewhere the advisor. So you don't need to be that immature that you are failing in one examination. You're just saying that, oh, I can't, because UPSC means 12 lakhs aspirants, 1,000 out of 10 lakhs. Out of 10 lakhs, 1,000. It is not even 1%. It is point in the point percentage.
Yes,
And if it is a point percentage, then you have to be a unique as point is, as 0.1, as 0.2, as 0.3. So if you are being unique as 100, as a 70%, as a 10%, and you are calling yourself you are going to be an UPSC aspirant, or you are going to qualify this examination, it's not that much easy. So if you fail, you have to find out the strategies. If you get rejected, you need to find out the other solutions and other ways, other windows to look out. So don't say कि अरे यार मेरा तो नहीं हुआ. Say that कि मेरा नहीं हुआ, होने वाला है.
Of course.
Yes.
So let's move the next thing. Like we discussed about these things. So now I'm here to ask the question, like, what are the process and the method and the platform can be improved and develop our knowledge and skills as well, and the information.
See, the point is to develop knowledge and to develop knowledge actually, and to increase knowledge. What we have to understand, the first thing I could say that earlier we used to hear from our teachers when we were a kid and a child. So we used to hear that whenever you get a topic, you just should do a group discussion, right? You should sit with your friends and colleagues and you should discuss about that particular topic, right? We used to hear that. So this is the best way I really have found it, that we should discuss, we should do conversation about that topic. Another thing is about north, east, west, south. It means news. Information is very important through technology, through newspaper publishing, printing, through actually conversation. Knowledge inheritance and knowledge gain is very important. So reading newspaper is one of the best and is one of the most valuable activity that you can gain to inherit knowledge, right? And then third thing I could say that exploring the places. Like few days back I visited Rishikesh, so I found the scenarios and the information exactly about the Rishikesh. What is Rishikesh about? What kind of temples are there, right? What about the Ganga river? What about that Aarti, Ganga Aarti? What about actually the boating there? What about the trekking the mountains there? What about the jhulas, Ram Jhula, Lakshman Jhula, and all these, right? What about the namaz in masjid? What about the people that across India and across the world they come? Skydiving, scuba diving, and all these activities, fun activities, adventurous activities. So it means one is the best way to just go at the spot and explore the spot, right?
Right.
Yes.
Actually, one thing I also want to know, this is, I can say personally, I want to know. So whenever I sit to read newspaper, I feel bored. I get bored. Like what? एक ही हेडलाइन मैंने पढ़ी, उसके बाद से समझ नहीं आ रहा, इतने उसमें वर्ड्स ऐसे होते हैं ना कि आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, आई एम नॉट एबल टू चेक इट आउट, फाइंड इट आउट, एंड नाउ लो, ओके फाइन, हो गया बस.
Understand that.
So इसको कैसे इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं?
See, the point is that newspaper is stilled. Like newspaper is not actually moving. There is no movement in the newspaper. There is no picturization in the newspaper. There is no film in the newspaper. When you talk about the same thing of the newspapers come in the TV, you are interested in that because that moves. That's not instilled, like that moves here and there. The image comes, the video comes, the background comes, the scenario comes, so it becomes fascinating and interesting for you. So newspaper is not interesting. Where is the interest in the newspaper? There are two interests. One is in the pictures, one is in the words. Picture looks interesting, picture looks fascinating, but what about the words? The moment you see the picture, you get, okay, अच्छी photo hai, right? You get so much interested, fascinated, and you start looking the picture. The moment you just go deep into the words, you get, oh my god, it's quite boring, right? You're not interested in that. You have to find out the interest and the excitement and the fascination in the words. The words are there. You have to find out this word is this word is this. You have to make it a habit. If you're not habitual of reading newspaper, it will be always like a ubasi wala newspaper for you, like a jabhai wala newspaper for you.
Right.
That is what the case is.
Of course. course. Like here are some students I can say. So वो क्या होता है कि always only they say कि what should I read, with book should I go, क्या करना चाहिए, मैम थोड़ा सा पढ़ा दीजिए, सर थोड़ा सा पढ़ा दीजिए, मैम बता दीजिए. Only they say कि क्या करूँ, कैसे करूँ, आप करवा दो, आप करवा दो. Why? Like क्या उनके अंदर से मन नहीं करता, वो खुद नहीं करते, क्योंकि हम सिर्फ सुनते रहते हैं. वे ओनली लिसन कि हाँ ये करवाओ, वो करवाओ, इनसे पूछ लो, इनसे पूछ लो. Only these things, and they never try.
Actually, the point is that they don't know the ways, right? So they try to find out the mentors and the teachers, right? Because they don't know the ways, they don't have the right path to actually cover. So they just ask from the teachers, and if they know, so like for example they have known one way, so they don't try to implement that way, implement that exact that methodology. That is also one of their problem. It is because in the subconscious mind I'm a weak person, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. For example, reading newspaper is quite high for me, speaking English is quite tough for me, right? And recording video is quite hard for me, and talking to somebody else, some foreigners or just some seniors, it's hard for me. It is in the subconscious mind. So we should allow our subconscious mind to trust us that yes, we can do this.
Actually, what happen sometime when we learn something, when we observe something, after some time we forget about that. अगर हम उसे याद करने की कोशिश करें, नहीं होती याद, तो वो निकल जाती है माइंड से. So how can we keep everything in our mind for the lifetime?
Nothing can be kept in mind for a lifetime. It is because our mind is already occupied. Mind has multiple burdens, multiple scenarios and thoughts, right? Why? Because for example, I am focusing this this table, the circle of the table, and same way I'm focusing the right side of the table, same time I'm focusing the left side of the table, same time and moment I'm focusing to the front row of the table. So what am I doing? I'm just playing with my mind.
So if I ask you how many lines in the table, can you please
I
tell
can't.
me?
Then I have to see again. I have to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I can say, okay, there are 3 lines, because I did not focus the lines. It means I was not completely focused. So what I need to do, I need to be focused when I read. I need to be focused when I do conversation. I need to be focused when I listen to somebody. I need to be focused when I read something, some books, newspapers, magazines. If I'm not focused, if I'm not deep into that, nothing will come to me.
So now I need to focus on the studies because tomorrow is my exam. So
Best of luck, all right, and you have to focus your study.
thank you so much, sir.
Right.
Okay, so I got also some tips and tricks from your side to develop my knowledge, to increase my knowledge. And I just take everything just piece of a cake. I said no.
Exactly.
So but मेरा क्या है कि मैं chill करके पढ़ती हूँ, fun के साथ पढ़ती हूँ. When I do these things, I can learn everything easily. वो मेरे माइंड में बैठ जाता है.
Right.
और मैं जब टेंशन लेके पढ़ूंगी, अरे नहीं हो रहा, क्या करूँ, मैं कितनी भी कोशिश कर लूँ,
नहीं
it
होता
is
है.
not going to be fixed in my mind.
Tensed mind can never inherit knowledge.
Of
Yes.
course.
Yes.
So do fun and do
Yeah.
study.
All right.
Okay,
And
thank you so
inherit
much,
knowledge.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank
God
you.
bless.